This podcast is brought to you by Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from over 400 top brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, backed by fast shipping and an expert support team. Primary Arms, serving freedom since 2008. Find out more at frn.deals/PA. Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Garth Hofer.
Hi. I hope I'm coming through a lot better for you guys out there on the interwebs. I finally got a headset. It's so exciting.
It's the little things.
It's the little things, man. Yeah, I wanted to do the whole microphone like Nick, but I can't sit still because I have what doctors have diagnosed me with as ADD.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know what an HD is, but I got 80 of them.
No, I'm not the hyperactive one. I just have ADD. I'm like, oh, this is fun, squirrel.
Yeah, we have never squirreled here before, so.
Ever, no. So this is cool. This is neat.
Yep. So speaking of other things that are neat, well, what did you do anything fun or interesting?
Man, we've done so many fun things. Talked about it last week, got my mechanics in. Haven't shot them yet because, it takes me a good month to go out and shoot a gun or when I purchase a gun to shooting it. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I fall in love with the guns I already have, and then I go shoot those guns, and then I finally decide that the gun I purchased a month ago is worth going to shoot. And I mean, that happened with other guns, we'll talk about it all. So I really can't get into what's been going on because that's pretty much what we're going to talk about the entire episode, I'm pretty sure.
You're not wrong. I'll tell you a little bit of piggybacking on our last episode for anyone who listened. I got I have my laser in my pure Chinesium laser from Somo Gear, and I am genuinely impressed with its performance.
Mm-hmm.
I had it out at night and was using it to look at and identify and do nighttime IR laser beam things to go with the helmet mounted night vision, and it worked surprisingly well. Like, I was very thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, you got let me play with it a little bit in the bathroom experiment, just because it's the darkest room in your house. And so it was very cool. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed because we didn't have that level of dark when we were playing with them at GunCon. And before I was like, okay, these are okay. But now I'm like, holy crap, this is legit.
Yeah, it's real deal stuff. And then, of course, I do now have the rifle mounted laser to go with. And on Sunday, there was another interesting development that caused you to not go to our second range session of the day.
Yeah, that was something else, man. Never expected to get a 911 call like that. But we had our local ethanol plant in my hometown explode. And that was interesting. And it sucks because I've got a few friends that work out there, and I don't know what the situation is with them. Thankfully, no one was hurt or killed because it definitely could have went that direction, but it did not. And so, now our ethanol plant in Oneida is shut down for the foreseeable future. I don't know.
For the time being, for sure.
Yeah, for the time being, they are not receiving corn, which makes my life a little difficult since I am a corn farmer. But
well, I'm sure we'll figure out something to do with that.
Oh yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, so yeah, I did not get to partake in the second range day on Sunday. So that was a bummer because we were really looking forward to putting some videos and stuff out and running with the trigger system and doing some drills. But there's always another day.
There is, and I know that we will have more of them again soon. And we had the trigger interactive system set up and was running some steel and other things, which was a ton of fun. I mean, it the second range day or session of the day was not we shot a competition in the morning,
Hmm.
and I think it'd be easiest to say it was some like light instruction in the afternoon. Uh, not like on a light, but definitely doing some instructing, and that was a an absolute blast for me. Uh, One of the things we did there was we had a whole bunch of people who had never shot on or around a barricade,
Oh, very cool.
and we pulled out a barricade that wasn't even one of mine.
Weird.
I know, like there was a joke to be made that well, you start pulling toys out, and like, well, I've been known to do that. And, I did let some people run some PCCs and some things like that for the first time, and everybody agreed that 9mm carbines are very fun.
Yeah.
And my wife even got in on the fun and was out shooting with us, and you know that was just we all had a good time with it.
Did you bring out the claymore as well?
We did, but we didn't use it like that.
Oh, okay.
I got thrown in the back of the pickup. There'll be more to follow with that because I'm excited about some other stuff that's going to be happening soon, and I I think there might be some other odd things going down
Fun.
that will involve the Claymore.
Cool.
And the Claymore, for anyone who is listening, I understand how in my normal speech patterns one could assume that I am actually talking about an anti-personnel mine. But in this instance, I am not, nor am I talking about a Scottish longsword. I'm talking about a clay pigeon thrower from Caldwell
Yeah.
that is really great. And I had seen them at SHOT Show, but kind of just did a whatever. It's just another, you know. And then we actually got to use them, and we pulled them out and went, all right, these worked. And apparently our friend Joey thought I was talking about using an actual claymore.
Hey, you never know.
I guess of people we know, ones who would have access to something like that, or just have something like that, I would probably be.
It's okay because actually I can just reach over and grab it real quick. I scared the heck out of Joey's father one day because I pulled out this and he went, "Why do you have that?" And I said, "Don't worry, it's a dud." And he goes, "Never do that to me again. Keep in mind our buddy might be the sheriff of Silly County." So to see a dummy grenade, he was not thoroughly impressed with me because I didn't let on to him that I had it at the time. And of course, like you said, why would someone have one of those things? Well, if a guy was, I'm not saying he does, but if he was, it could be portrayed as one of us.
Possibly.
Yeah. So, oh well. So yeah. You ran some barricade drills and stuff like that. Um, Had some people run some PCC. Any particular drills you care to share that you guys ran?
Really, we weren't getting too was nothing too interesting. We just had 3 steals out at 50 yards, and they were all spaced about 7 yards apart.
Okay.
And it was just like a 1-2-3, 1-2-3 drill. And it was a lot more about getting the how to work around the barricade and figuring out mechanical offset and things of that nature.
What were you in height variance, or were you doing like cornering, or what kind of barricade shooting were you doing?
I'm sorry, I was reading Jim's comment about something getting under. Do I invest in night vision because I got to do what I got to do? I mean, if it's eating your tomatoes, Jim, then by all means, yes. Because remember that night vision is the cheapest superpower.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Garth. As I was reading that, I very impolitely did not pay attention to what you were saying.
No, I was just asking what kind of barricade shooting you were doing. If you're doing height variance, like if you, for example, you were shooting across the hood of a car, or if you were cornering around to simulate a wall, or
actually, we did a little bit of shooting off of the vertical stair edges.
okay,
But we were shooting through the windows.
okay,
Or through the holes cut in it, but from a distance behind.
oh,
So like take a knee and then pick a spot where you can pivot and hit all of them through the same square without shooting the target or shooting the barricade.
no. So you were shooting through like a 6-inch square or a 4-inch square or something along those lines. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, it was. It's a really fun drill to do. I was wearing shorts, and there were sharp pieces of broken concrete.
Ooh. Uh-oh. Nicholas.
Yes. A single tear rolls down my cheek.
You blipped out there for a minute, man.
Oh, I was just saying the concrete was not kind to my knees.
Well, I get that. That's understandable.
Yep. So that that was fun. I like that, and I like to get that engagement, and especially working with people who haven't really had a chance to see that type of stuff yet.
Did anyone bring their own rifles at that point, or were they just kind of borrowing what you and Craig had?
There was one. It was a suppressed CC Scorpion. I dug that a lot.
Well, that was my question: is if they did, what optics were they running? I mean, were they running a shorter optic, or were they doing an LPVO, or?
It was mostly LPVOs, or not LPVOs. There was a lot of dots, of dots, and I mean the AR that I had shoot the most was my 11.5-inch gun, and that's an EOTech with a magnifier.
Yep.
But with that, I was also using the green daylight laser to confirm that it was in fact slaved to my optic. So I was hitting AC zone targets at 50 yards by just I could actually see the laser on target.
Oh, cool.
And with the naked eye and bright daylight, and just ting ting ting, and all right, yep, we're good to go. So we, like that one likes to party. And that is now a setup that we can do some training with and run and talk more about later, about like a more advanced tactic, maybe. Like there may be that might be a mystery tool that helps a class later.
Oh, fair.
I did play with an optic from Primary Arms that I am steadily it's steadily becoming kind of my jam.
Which optic was that?
Well, that would be this SLX MD25 with the 6x magnifier behind it.
You know, the more I think about something like that, right away I was like, no, if it's not LPVO, it's dead to me. But the one comment that was made a couple weeks ago when we were out to the range is a lot of guys they shoot on 1 power or they go to 6 to 7 power. They don't really stop at 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And so it not to say they're useless or pointless. I mean, if you have an LPVO, shoot it, love it. I have several. I enjoy shooting. One's right behind me, but uh, yeah, the whole idea of just being able to go from 1 to 6 like that is a pretty cool concept.
Yep, and I've played with dots and magnifiers before. I do have a magnifier behind my EOTech, and this ACSS reticle from Primary Arms. I mean, they are a show sponsor, and they did send us this to review. But unfortunately, the condition of the steel at 300 meters at the public range we were at was lacking. But that's not a dig at the range. That's a ultra busy range.
And the guys just like to shoot the straps of the targets instead of the targets.
Yep. And they also haven't been painted in like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
So sometimes they can be difficult to see with a 25 power optic.
We should probably get a hold of that range and maybe see if we can do some upgrading for them.
I have talked to them about it in the past, and we might be able to do that. And it might just be one of those like, hey, we did a thing, and beg forgiveness instead of ask permission.
That's fair.
But no, and having that was just the only issue there. But it's purely just a shot up piece of steel blends in with a piece of dirt at 300 meters.
Yep, I understand that.
Especially when you're shooting at like an 8-inch target. So I did not run this rifle out to 300 yards. Yet, anyway.
Yet. Huh?
More to come. But everything else I've done with it has been running and handling phenomenally. And I know I was at the range on Friday with some of our friends and made a comment because, of course, I had a handful of targets that I'd brought with, and we were using them because we had a handful of things to accomplish. We've got to check some zeros. We've got to, do some of this. And all right, yep. So I set up a target, one of my favorite paper targets from my favorite paper target manufacturer supplier from RE Factor Tactical. But their essentials target, because you can do so much with it. And actually, I might just, while we're talking, I will bring that up.
Perfect.
Just because they are a target that you can literally do bullseye shooting with. It has about every type of target you could normally think of having on a all-on-one.
Okay, cool. All right, I like that.
So as I pull it up here, so you can see it has a large bullseye circle, and then it has 6 2-inch circles that you can do dot torture on. Then it also has a target that is the same size as the A zone rectangle on a USPSA target.
Yep.
One that's the size of a 3x5 index card, a 1-inch square, an 1.5-inch circle, and then 4 3-inch circles, and then another larger, like 6-inch pie plate. So it's just, you can do a lot with it because you can zero an optic and then you can start running a drill.
Man, I probably should start investing in that stuff. That seems way cheaper than buying tag board every time I want to go to the range.
Yep. Well, you just let me know. I might know a guy who stacked deep.
Well, that's good to know.
But like I think the last time I ordered those, I ordered 500 of them.
Solid.
And
way to be prepared.
Well, with the other company,
yes,
I order targets at a rate that is, I go through them.
That's fair.
So ordering 500 targets at a crack is not that unheard of.
Totally understand. So, yeah, okay. So you got to do some fun stuff without me. I'm like I said, I'm a little bummed. I got missed it.
When we had those targets up, this is one of those things where I talk about, like, I was starting to complain about accuracy on my end, and I was like, I'm not performing. I'm not shooting at the level I should be.
Well, it was also super hot Sunday, so.
Well, this would have been on Friday.
Oh, sorry, Friday.
And because you were actually working, and I was off playing.
Thanks. You were actually working.
But I was running the dot drill, the death by dots, on those 2-inch dots at 100 yards with my 1 to 10 power LPVO. I was sitting on a bench, but was still just whap whap and running through kind of quick as I could.
Yep.
And I did it should be a little tighter. It should be, this is like, one of our buddies looked at me and said, "You're still running that drill fast, and you're shooting a 2-inch target at 100 yards. Like, you can loosen up a little bit." But I have long said that, professionals train, or amateurs train till they get it right, and professionals train till they get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, you keep going and keep pushing yourself until you can no longer do the drill, instead of just hitting that never fail speed.
Yeah, a lot of guys will go to the range and they'll go shoot like you do down range, but they'll only put 10 down range. If they are on bullseye 10 times, oh, that's good enough for me, and they'll pack up the rifle and they'll go home. Ammo's still not. I mean, ammo's coming down in price, but some guys don't want to blow 100, 200 rounds at the range a time, and so they don't go out there to fail. They go out there to succeed, and by succeeding, they only shoot 10 rounds or 20 rounds, but they're not really bettering themselves in the long run. They're practicing enough to make themselves think they're good.
Well, that, or, I've done a 1-box workout before where I've gone out, like, if all you have time for is to shoot 1 box of ammo, like 1 50-round box, and that's all you can do once a month, at least they're staying on some skills.
Oh, I'm not saying, that, but I mean, guys will pull out, like what I used to do. I used to take 6 guns to the range, and I would shoot 20 shots and be like, okay, I can shoot that good enough, put that away, pull out the next firearm.
Yep.
And I wasn't honing my skills in any way.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of guys who do that, and it's tough to tell them that while, yes, you might be able to do, you're checking your zero, your gun's working functionally and fine, what happens when it fails? Then what do you do? What happens when you're fatigued in your shooting? That's when the real life situations come into play.
Oh yeah, and I know that I love training, and I love training. I hit the Powerball. That's all I do, I think.
Well, I bought a Mega Millions ticket, so you know what, man? If I win, we'll train.
We'll go do some training.
Yep.
But no, Well, anyways, Garth, as we keep going here, we shot the match this weekend, and you shot one of your gun of the month, and I know it isn't an AR, but something a lot of people have asked about, and it may have been the highlight of the day.
Oh, 100% it was the highlight of the day, and I didn't try to be, but man, owning this firearm has been enjoyable. I've got a lot of looks from it, but Sunday was the first time I had shot it. I'm referring, of course, to my 1911 Stealth Arms Platypus. For those of you guys who are watching at home on YouTube and Facebook, here is the Platypus in all its splendor and glory. Just so everyone's aware, gun is safe. But I mean, it blew people's minds because here, it's a Glock magazine, 17 rounds of pure bliss in a Glock magazine, and it just threw people for a loop because they just couldn't figure out the ergonomics of how a Glock magazine fed into a 1911 frame, and that not even the best part of it, man. This gunshot is so smooth. The trigger is fantastic. Of course, I did put a 2.5 pound competition trigger into it, so the trigger pull on this is super light, but recoil is fantastic. The weight of this gun is outstanding. I'm really considering ordering another one. I've actually got one pulled up on my computer right now. To well, I mean, if for those of you who are aware and watching this, as you can see, this is an orange and turquoise gun, which might be considered uh, colors of a certain NFL team called the Dolphins. And while I'm not super into the NFL anymore like I once was, I do love a good movie quote. And if you guys are familiar with some 90s pop culture references, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. And I would love to have a matching pair and have laser engraved Finkel and Einhorn on each of these things in the future. But that might happen. It might not. We'll see how that plays out. So,
Yep, and then we shot our PCC match, and we naturally shot some handgun with it. Our PCC match, where I can definitely say that since I switched to an actual like proper
PCC,
rifle,
yeah,
my scores have
gone up drastically.
you could say they've improved.
They've improved.
I should maybe even think about putting things like an actual comp instead of a bird cage, and like doing competition-y things to it.
Now you're shooting so well this year. Is it well enough to make you shoot PCC in the championship coming up, or are you still going to go 3-gun?
Oh, I'm gonna go 3-gun.
Fine.
I'm gonna go 3-gun, and I will go 3-gun all the way.
Well, it's fine. You go do that. I'm still a PCC guy. I started pulling out my SIG MPX again instead of the Black Rain, and I enjoy shooting that gun thoroughly just because of the just ergonomics and the fun, or yeah, the ergonomics of that gun and just how well it shoots and the recoil. And man, can't say enough good things about that gun. That gun is fantastic. It would help a lot better if I could just hit targets because that gun and I can go fast, but those mics that I had Sunday really took me from being in first all the way down to fifth real quick.
Yep, and I I was doing a little bit better. I think I pulled in third in that one, second or third, and I think if I did a couple little baby tunes to it, it would be it'd be running in a different level.
What optic are you running on yours? That's one thing I didn't check out, I guess.
I have a Swamp Fox blade.
Oh, you are running a blade as well. Okay. Those are becoming a very. I mean, our matches aren't sponsored, but I really think that most of the guys in the PCC division are running Swamp Fox blades, and a lot of everyone that's running pistol are running a P320.
It sure seems to happen that way. where all of a sudden something catches on.
Yep.
But no, I will continue to run the shot or the 3-gun, and to that end, there is a large part of me that wants to do it in He-Man.
Mm.
Like, I might do it with a 308.
People are gonna hate you, and I'm gonna be in your freaking pod, so I'm gonna hate you.
Hey, now all of my 308s are at least civil to be around.
Well, I mean, actually, are you allowed to run a suppressor in a 3-gun competition, as long as it can pick up on the timer?
Well, ours is outlaw.
Well, that is correct, but since we're actually gonna have a statewide competition, I didn't know if that was gonna factor in anything or not.
It's still considered outlaw because we don't really have classes.
Oh, well, fantastic then.
So, if I'm doing that and running a an LPVO or something on a 308 carbine,
Yeah.
and just murdering targets.
Yeah. That'll happen.
I mean, I say that, and it's all in good fun, but I will probably still shoot my do everything rifle,
That's
and
something. Yeah.
and just run that. But I do love running a shotgun at 3-gun.
You know, we did it last year where we swapped over and we had a 2-gun match. So we had PCC and shotgun. And while I wasn't the biggest fan of the idea, it wasn't outlandish. I mean, it wasn't awful as I thought it was going to be, but I know our numbers were so far down. I can't imagine that that'll happen again this year. Perhaps it might. I I guess I am one of the powers that be, but I don't know if I have enough say to change anything.
I would think you probably have a little more sway than you think.
Well.
It's just I'm over here going like, let's roll. Because for some reason, I just there's nothing quite like a 12 gauge in a plate rack.
Yeah, it is fun, especially if you can pin them in between and take 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, and I have a 3-gun shotgun that runs like a scalded dog.
Nice.
It is fast.
You know, speaking of fast,
we'll oh boy.
You go ahead. No, you go ahead. What were you saying? Nicholas, are you there?
You were saying, speaking of fast,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
I am.
All right, yeah. Speaking of fast, I finally built a rifle per se. Not didn't really build it. It's a Ruger lower, but I've taken every other part from basically anyone who's listened to the podcast in the last year and put this thing together. And I am just infatuated with this. I really need to get to the range here shortly because, as you can see again, for those listening at home who cannot see, I'll try to explain it the best I can. First, we have a beautiful Swamp Fox 1-6 optic on there with a Palmetto State upper. We have a primary arms finger stop. We have a Stuff and Things paintball trigger. But then my favorite, the shocker. But then my favorite part of this gun is the VZ grips. And VZ grips are great because they're made from a solid block of G10. G10 is amazing because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. They have a 17-degree grip angle and come in a wide variety of textures from mild to extreme with 27 color options. They also have 1911 grips, CZ grips, along with SIG and revolver grips. The coupon code for all handgun and rifle grips is AR-15 podcast at vzgrips.com. And guys, I can't say enough good things about VZ grips. They are a sponsor of the show, but man, I love these textures they have on there. As Nick is holding one up to his camera, he has sandpaper death metal. I can't handle that stuff, but they have some lighter textures in there as well. and these sit so nice in your hand. If you are looking for a solid AR grip, please go check out these guys. They are amazing contributors of the show, and we really do appreciate them.
Yep, look at all those sharp and pointy spines.
Awful. It's like it's like grabbing a cactus.
It's amazing. I love it.
So yeah, I'm sorry. That was my cheap segue.
I approve fully and wholeheartedly. And no, I really do. Like, I need to go on and buy about 5 more of these extreme grips.
Yeah, I used to be a big fan of the Magpul K-frame ones, just because they were simple, they were smooth, but a little texture on the grip nowadays is something I really do enjoy, and I too might have to just jump onto the website and purchase at least 4 more because I'd like to put a couple on my competition ARs as well as my everyday. Well, that is going to be my everyday truck gun right there. So
you say a little bit of texture, huh?
a little bit of texture.
That's just a little bit of texture. No, mine are mine could definitely double as a cheese grater, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
But they feel so good in your hand.
No, I mean, if I was going to interrogate someone, I would just use the grip.
That's probably why I stay on target so much better.
Maybe that could be. You're one of those guys like the guy that punishes himself in the movie by having the spikes around his waist or something. Oh, no.
Oh, they're not that bad.
They're not that good.
So when we have talked about that, we've mentioned, we shot and did actually really, we both did pretty good in shooting our respective classes, and that has been going well. Of course, it's always good to see our shooting friends at the range. I know we missed a couple of them that we thought might have been there, but that's okay. They will be there again at the next one, and at the next our next local match, you and I are doing one of the stages.
People are gonna hate us. There's just no way to get around it. I mean, they're gonna be like, no, we're not running that. I mean, our outlaw clubs only do a 24 round count, up maximum of 24 rounds, but you can move a lot of ways to shoot 24 rounds.
Especially if we bring the trailer and set up all the steel.
And I think we're just going to do a whole steel setup.
Ting, 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 ting.
Now, we could be real jerks and we could do Virginia count too.
Oh, no. Virginia count, for anyone who is listening and doesn't know what that terminology means that you are only allowed to have or fire. Well, you're only allowed to fire the approximate number of shots you would need for that stage. If you hit everything.
Yes. Which would really suck if we implemented a Texas Star.
Or, broke out the Peskies.
That too.
Yes, if I broke out the little 4x4 squares and set them out.
Oh, I hate those things.
I love them. I need a set. Or like 4.
Well, I've looked into them and I can't seem to find any more. I mean, I think these guys had them manufactured there for the range.
I know the guy who used to make them, so maybe I'll reach out to him and see.
There we go.
Get him to make a couple.
That'd be something.
Gen Champ, how we doing today? So, yep, we mentioned, let's see, we talked a little bit about the match. We talked about some optics stuff. Night Vision, I'll be giving a more in-depth report on later. we could probably follow up with our final thoughts on the Jackal.
We could. Yep.
So we're sending the Jackal back. We got it from PSA to demo it out and try it, and I was thoroughly impressed. I didn't know what to think about it when we first got it in. I wasn't sure just because long stroke piston system on an AR, like I was excited about it, but I wasn't sure how it would work because I'm an AR guy, not an AK guy.
It was something out of the norm, and we weren't ready for that.
Well, I can say we weren't ready for it. It's I always love seeing the new technology come, and it performed admirably.
No, that I will say that. Like I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't sure what to expect. We saw it at SHOT Show. It looked neat. I wasn't sure about the recoil situation, how it was going to be, because pistols can get a little rugged sometimes. But I was thoroughly impressed with the lack of recoil, therefore, that gun had, and man, just how smooth shooting it was. I thought PSA did a fantastic job designing that gun. And again, now that being able to shoot the pistol variant, I am super excited to shoot the rifle variant and see how that performs.
Yep, and I 100%. I think if I would have had the rifle, if we would have had the rifle come in,
Yep.
I am almost 100% positive that I would have kept that. I have enough shotguns for the moment. Like I know I need one more, but I am more in the market for a rifle or a larger caliber, maybe even.
Yeah.
I currently only have 2 308s.
Well, I mean, I don't even have one right now, so.
Yep, I will be looking into that just because I still have some issues with one of my 16-inch 308 that may see a conversion to 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh, very cool, very neat. Or you could save it for the Genesis 12.
I mean, that's not a problem. I know where to find some lowers.
You know a guy, huh?
I know a guy who might have a couple of those sitting around for a rainy day.
You see him in the bathroom mirror every night, huh?
You have mirrors?
Oh, what? Man, how rich are you guys?
Yeah, what? Mirrors? No, that'll be fun looking up or looking forward to that. I know I also have, you won't be able to make it to this one, I don't think, but I have a long range course coming up in a couple months here that'll be a ton of fun to go to.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make that. So let me ask you real quick then, since you're going to go to that, what optic will you be using for that?
So again, we are not sponsored by Swamp Fox. And to the people who are like, oh, you guys sure talk about them a lot. No, I purchased with my own monies a Swamp Fox Warhawk. 6-25, first focal plane, all of the things,
Locking turrets and all that good stuff.
Yep. And easy to adjust to zero, change everything out, and zero stops. It's set up how I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And with that on the current bolt gun setup I have, I should be able to run to a mile fairly.
That is farther than the 350-yard range I like to shoot on.
Yeah. So I will be trying to get hits on at a mile. That's kind of my goal. Is I would like to hit I would like to hit targets at a mile, and then after that I will probably go, okay, I can do that, and then I will pick up my AR variant in whatever caliber I have it in, and be like, let's just play at 800 to 1,000, and I think that's a little bit more where I would like to stay, and that's just me. Shooting long ways is very cool, but
then you have to know curvatures of the Earth because the Earth is round. You flat earthers out there.
yeah, not only do you have to know the curvature of the Earth, but you have to take into effect the Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
And that, for anyone who's listening, is when you shoot at where a target will be when the round impacts, because you have to take in, when you're shooting so far, you have to take into effect the rotational speed of the Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. I use BDCs. I cheat. I don't math.
I barely math.
Uh,
And Garth's gonna be like, that's a lie because you've watched me turn into Rain Man before.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
What are you gonna do? Do this. Generally, it's with loading an obscure caliber.
Yeah. Yes.
Try this and work from there.
It's like 50 clicks to the left and 25 up. Yeah, you'll be fine.
That's only happened a couple times.
Again, seen it.
Oh, I know where you're at. Do this. But when we move on from there, do you have anything kind of neat coming up on the horizon that you're excited about?
No, man, I don't. I'm getting into the busiest time of my summer right now. We've got harvest coming up here. So the gun life is going to be put on the back burner for the foreseeable future, at least for the next month to 2 months anyway. I don't have any classes coming up quite yet. I know you and I have talked about maybe going to Colorado towards the end of August to take in a carbine class, and again, that's, well, gosh, it is only a month away, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah,
wow, time flies.
We're starting to hit deadlines on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we are.
But
so I guess might be taking some fun stuff here in the next month.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. That, and I know that's also a 3-gun for us locally.
Yep, it is. So decisions will have to be made.
Very, very much so. And I'm sure we can get down to that. I know that we also have some more guests coming up for the listeners to learn from, so it's not just Garth and I bantering about guns and what we did this week. But, that will be a good time coming up. I know, not to completely spoil it, but we have, if people want to learn where they can learn more about how to work on guns, we're going to have a guy coming on to talk about that. And then we might have some people who make some really neat accessories coming on.
Yep.
Because their name might have something to do with kinetic. And
and we might reach out to some guys who have places to store these fun items for you, so it might be able to conceal them better.
Or just fully display them.
Or that too.
But this one might be, well, I guess it's not that much shorter than normal. I look up and see we're at the 50-minute mark instead of, I think last time we went to an hour and a half. So this one we're going to be just a hair shorter. Well, Garth, you got anything else to add before we start wrapping things up?
No, beyond you guys. No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You go to where you were at.
I will go back to my place. I was just say, guys, if you want to reach out to us, you may do that at the AR-15 2.0. It's AR-15 podcast 2.0 at gmail.com. Got a little tongue tied there. Sorry. We're also on Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, and Spotify. Just search AR-15 podcast. You'll be able to find us. yeah, it's pretty easy. Also, go check out the network, guys, firearmsradio.net. There's a lot of other good podcasts that probably don't ramble on as much as Nick and I do, with a lot of wealth and knowledge out there to learn from, because they do anything from off-roading to reloading to God and guns. So there's always a different podcast out there for everyone's different tastes. So please go check those guys out. And yeah, I guess beyond that, man, I don't have much else to say.
Well, I have to say that we're living in uncertain times. And January marked the third time a power station in North Carolina was damaged by gunfire. Recently, authorities are saying this attack raises a new level of threat. Authorities are now checking our grid for vulnerabilities, and they have identified 9 key substations. If these substations are attacked, the power could be knocked out coast to coast for up to 18 months. Imagine blackouts lasting not days, but weeks or months. Your life would be frozen in time right at the moment the power fails. Lights out all over the country would go out, throwing people into total darkness, unless you have the superpower of night vision. And that's why having your own solar power is more important than ever. With the new Patriot Power Generator 2000X, you can get a solar generator that doesn't install to your house because it's portable. You can even take it with you and use it inside. But it's powerful enough to run for your phone, medical devices, even your fridge. And right now, you can go to 4Patriots, that's the number 4Patriots.com, and use code FRN to get 10% off your first purchase of anything in the store, including the Patriot Power Generator. All of that, plus you'll get their famous guarantee for an entire year and free shipping on everything over $97. So that's 4Patriots.com and use code FRN to get 10% off. That's the number 4Patriots.com and use code FRN to get yours today. And I really, really might pick up one of those fridges they have.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the powered coolers.
Yeah.
Those look to be like a brilliant idea.
There's a lot of cool stuff out there I'd like to spend some money on. These guys are on the list. I sadly say, for me, it's probably more like number 8 on things I need.
It's down there. Like, I don't need it now, but it would be handy.
What I need right now is a new toy, not a gun, a vehicle. So I think that's where my focus is going to go.
That is fair.
But then I could get one of those coolers and put it in the back, and it could be like an early 2000s movie.
Fair enough. Well, that and there is one other sponsor here that we would be remiss if we didn't talk about.
I bet I can guess.
Can you?
Is it Patriot Patch? PatriotPatch.co?
It is.
Man, PatriotPatch.co. They're fantastic. I love getting my patch of the month deals from them. I'm just ecstatic that I get rep cool patches. Actually, what I'm really excited about, and I have it in this room as we speak, is my favorite mouse pad. Actually, it's a cleaning mat, but Patriot Patch makes some sweet cleaning pads that I use as a mouse pad. I know Nick uses them for mouse pad. We also have tin signs, shirts, and stickers, guys. So please, if you're feeling like you want to support a great American company, go check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co.
Yes. Yes, indeedy. So, with that, I don't have much else to add tonight. So, you folks out there, you stay safe and stay armed. Do you want to support the show? Subscribe and interact on social media. AR-15 Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. AR-15 Podcast on Facebook. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 at gmail.com if you just want to drop us a line. Find us online at firearmsradio.net. Click through our sponsors and support the people who support our show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, Predator Armor, TacPack, and Patriot Patch Company.